Sports talk conversations with a good laugh mixed in. This is the Sports Talk with Thetford and Ashby podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
Let me tell you a couple of things. I hate to do this after all those. All-American Eatery. Guilty. I know it, out on Highway 87, the Toka Highway. Also in Wolforth, right by the Goodwill
I've
place.
heard good things about the one in Wolforth also.
And they're doing great. All-American Eatery. Go see them. Tide Dry Cleaners, for a difference you will love. In the dry cleaning and laundry, go see them. 4511 98th Street, also at 19th and Quaker. Lubbock Sports Medicine, what a great team of doctors. They take care of Texas Tech. Might have taken care of Lynn. Of course, kickers don't get hurt ever. But tremendous team of doctors.
Find out.
Yeah, we'll ask you.
Bet.
And Mighty Wash, you're looking for the best in car wash, go see Mighty Wash. Locations all over Lubbock and the Permian Basin. And they would love to help you, and they'll do it right for you. Mighty Wash. All right, Lin Elliot is here.
Hey.
Former Texas Tech kicker.
And Will Culpepper.
And Will Culpepper is
You
here.
can barely mention me. That's fine.
No. You're big
That's
deal.
enough about Will.
Yeah, that's right. Talk to the Hall of Famer,
He helped
Super Bowl
us.
champion. How about that? Talk
He
to
helped
him.
us get Lynn here because I called him and he said Lin Elliott's in town. He was all excited.
And it had been a couple days since we've been on the show, so there you go.
It's been a long time since you've
bet.
been on. You have been on before.
I have,
though.
yes, sir.
Lynn, let me see your ring.
Yes, sir. Let me get it off. Oh, fat finger. I was skinnier back then.
First time it's been off in 20 years.
when we ordered it. I sleep in
You know
it.
what? That's back when rings.
Oh, yeah.
This is,
They were humble.
this is right.
Yeah.
This is right.
Yeah.
For those that
Will
are
wants
out
to see
there,
it, too.
this is the right size for a ring. That
Yeah.
gaudy mess is.
You know, back then that was obviously not a gigantic ring, but it was a really well done ring.
Yeah. Oh, that's.
It was a desired ring. Then the next year, you know, in the next Super Bowl after that, the ring started to just get ridiculous.
Started growing.
That's awesome too.
Yeah.
Sometimes bigger's better.
That's right.
This one you can wear though.
I can wear it. I can slip
Wear
around.
this.
I don't wear it often. It's probably been in the safe for the last year, but we got a bunch of people this week that probably want to see it.
Oh,
so I was
yeah.
like, I'm gonna
Without
bring it
a
out
doubt.
this week.
Gotta do
Let
that.
me see
Without a
that.
doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, Lynn has a Super Bowl record, but he's tied. Do you remember why you're tied
Oh,
for,
I
for
do
that
remember.
instead
Oh,
of
yeah.
have the record all by yourself?
Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
Well, I've done the instant replay, you
Yeah.
know, because they didn't have instant replay.
You think he
But
scored?
I think he crossed the line. You know,
Okay.
I mean, I think he did. And I don't know if it was confirmed that he crossed the line, but yeah, no. Leon Lett had I think it was the 9th turnover of the day for the Bills, right?
It was.
And he scooped it up, and he was doing his dance, and
Yeah, he was.
but you know what? That's okay.
okay.
We were having fun, and it was a party. The place was rocking, and I didn't know, obviously, that was a record or would have been a record that'd be tough to break at the time. You know,
Yeah.
looking back, you do, but it doesn't matter to me.
Okay.
Well, BB's the guy that chased
He
him
did.
down and
He
knocked
did.
him. He's trying so hard, son.
Yeah.
It's over.
Yeah.
Leon Lett, right?
Yeah,
I don't think we
Leon
ever said Leon
Oh
Lett.
yeah, Leon Lett, Leon. Yes, sir.
Where's he today, Dad?
The big cat. No, he's a
Okay.
defensive. No, believe it or not, he's a high achiever. Last I saw, and I don't know if he's there right now, but the last staff, he was a defensive line coach
Well,
with
good.
Cowboy. So I mean,
Is
he
that
was
right?
out there working. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, good for him.
Yep.
And he told him to run all the way to the end zone.
No,
Don't-
just-
Well, start
I
your
mean,
celebration
yeah.
just a little bit
Oh, yeah.
later.
Yep, you bet.
And what's
You
the
bet.
record? 9 extra points?
No, it's 7. It's
7,
tied.
okay.
It's
All
7. But at 8, you mean that's 56 points.
Yeah.
That's tough to get in a Super
Yeah.
Bowl.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. And they're having to kick further.
Yes, sir.
So
You're
they're-
exactly
they're
right.
apt to miss one out of
They
8.
could. They could.
Well, you had a rookie record. You had 24 field goals.
Yep.
With the in third in club history. But how did you know you were a kicker? At what point did you know you were a kicker?
Yeah, that's a good question. I didn't start as a 7th grader or an 8th grader as a kicker. You know, there was always someone that was better than you. So I
Which
was
probably helped you.
running back, linebacker, receiver. You know, they tried to work me in at quarterback. I wasn't smart enough to.
Where'd you go to high school?
I went to high school at Waco High.
Yeah,
You know,
Waco High. I
in
got it
Waco.
right here. Played soccer, too.
Played soccer, played a lot of soccer, but my freshman year I ended up separating a shoulder, and playing linebacker. And so, all I could do was kick for a couple of weeks. And at that point, we made 7 extra points in a freshman game, and the varsity coach, who was my algebra teacher, said, "Hey,
He's good with math.
yeah. Well, I think let's let's come out this week and we'll suit you
Yeah.
up with varsity. And then it kind of now at that point, obviously, I wasn't a good enough baller to play anything but kicker as a freshman
Yeah.
at Waco High,
Yeah.
type deal. So, but that's how it
Waco
started.
High was good athletics, wasn't it?
They were good, real good.
Yeah, real good.
Y'all
Yeah.
went state or anything?
Well, no, but so at that time the school was actually called Richfield. But my senior year, we combined 3 high schools into one to have kind of a Waco consolidated Waco High, and that team had 9 D1 athletes on it. Yeah, they went a lot of places. Guys like Donald Harris and Wayne Walker,
Yeah.
and, those types
Oh,
of guys. They're the bloodline that runs through that Waco system.
That's a good group, and they were
That's a
Red
real-
Raiders.
Oh, they were Red Raiders. Yes,
Well,
sir.
and you stayed down in that area, right? Just outside
Yes, sir.
Waco?
Yes, sir.
All right. Are you a Baylor Bear liker? Hater? Lover?
Yeah, I mean, I like Baylor more than I completely hate A&M, right?
Okay.
And Texas, okay?
All right. Good answer.
We understand that.
And when you do live there, there's times like where I may work with their special teams guys or something like that, and so you like those people, but it's okay if they lose,
Okay. How about if they lose like they did last week?
That one I actually was really pulling for them
I was too.
because I don't like the other team.
Okay. Did you ever play against? I don't know the ages there. Did you ever play against Dion?
Yeah, I have some stories with Dion, and as a matter of fact, my first year at Tech, believe it or not, I made the travel squad, and our first game was at Florida State, and Scott Segrist was the kicker, and he had some ingrown toenails, and so I was about to do the kickoff, to Dion.
You'll be
right?
glad to know that. Know that.
Yeah. No, but at the end of the day,
Fungus all over him.
I got to give Scott some credit. What he did do is he said, "I'm not letting this guy kick," and he took a cortisone shot and he went out. And
He wouldn't let you
He
kick.
wasn't going to let me on the field.
We're afraid you'd Wally Pip him.
I didn't blame him for that, But
We'll ask him when we see him.
But yeah, and then there was a time where I got brought on for the Atlanta Falcons for a Thursday night game. And on that game, the kicker had a kind of a sore thigh or what have you. And Dion, though, the night before they got knocked out of the pennant race, he shows up the day of the game, says he wants to play.
I
So
remember
at
that.
the end of the day, 2 things happened that were weird that day. One, Dion, without any practice, took my spot that day, and they took my roster spot, and then the other kicker just kicked it to like the 15 on kickoffs, type deal. And then B, Jerry Glanville, who is our guest, it was MC Hammer that day. He left tickets for Elvis just in case Elvis showed up for the game. So I was like, man, this is some bizarro world, right?
So that's why you're not listed with the Falcons?
Not listed with the Falcons, but I was there for one game.
You were going to be
Yeah.
there.
All right, so
Yeah.
you're going to suit up, and Dion decides he wants to play. Coach, I'll play.
The night before, he played a baseball game.
In Atlanta. Was the game in Atlanta,
Yeah,
I guess?
He was either Atlanta or Cincinnati, whichever team he was on at that point,
All right, so what do? You just –
Yeah, so what I did is they tell me right before kickoff what's going to go on, and I dress like this and watch the game and get paid your salary that day,
Okay.
But it was unique. He was very humble at that point. He was very nice. Moving forward to where we are today, I have a lot of people in my family that are big Dion and Shadur Sanders fans,
yeah. And
and
it
I'm
sound
not.
like you are, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think David's big. I'm fine. I'm fine either way.
I like Dion fine,
Yeah.
but I want to beat him. Anyway,
Baylor had them beat
Oh,
every
they
which
did.
way.
Sawyer Robertson is a Lubbock Coronado kid.
Yeah, okay.
He's a great young kid.
Yeah,
I mean, and he had a super game, and I wish they could have won.
It was close. I mean, it was unbelievable they didn't win.
What a
It
catch.
really did hurt. Oh, unbelievable. Yep.
Well, let's talk to Will a second. Will, thanks for coming.
Yeah. I want to hear.
What do you got this
I want to hear
weekend,
more
Will?
Deion Sanders stories.
What you got Lin in town for today?
Well, Lynn, I mean, he comes
just
back
showed
for
up.
several games, and he's gonna ring the bell before the game. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that, but
yeah,
he's gonna do that. And we went down into the recruiting lounge in the.
How you like this place?
Man, that first class.
We went down there yesterday, did a little tour, and then that kind of turns into a Letterman Lounge area for during the game. And we went down there, and they have a deal against the wall for every super player, Texas Tech player that was a player in the NFL that won a Super Bowl. They have a Lombardi Trophy with their name on it.
That was cool.
So
Real
Lynn's
cool.
name's in there, and then there's the multiple winners on the other side of the wall. It's a pretty neat deal. So I thought he didn't know that, so I was like, hey, we got to go down here. That was kind of neat. And some of the Tech players were down there. I got to introduce him to and just say, hey, this is one of the guys over here. So that was a good experience yesterday.
When you get to go down and meet, say there's going to be some Tech players. There's all 4 quarterbacks were there, so that was pretty sweet.
That's
to
really
get to see
cool.
those guys. They look good. So
that is really cool. I got to go down. I still haven't been in there. Will, can you get me?
Well, you
in?
know my phone number, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I called you.
I only get called when you want something, but that's all right. I'll take you down there.
That's just how we work.
That's right.
That's who we are. Well, this is fun, and we'll come back and I don't know what time it is, but yeah, it's time for a break.
We might even. I may tag Joy in and let her sit here.
There you go. Bring her in.
She'll have some stories.
Yeah, Joy can tell us some stories.
Oh, she can tell some stories.
Yeah. She's just acting like she doesn't want to come up here. Lin Elliott's here. Will Culpepper's here. Back with more Optimum Game Day Live on Sports Talk with Thetford and Ashby.
Sports Talk conversations with a good laugh mixed in. This is the Sports Talk with Thetford and Ashby podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
The game is right here on Double T 97.3 tonight. If you can't come out here, you can tune in right there and listen to it.
Hey, and if you got, like last week, I got so sick of listening to that play-by-play guy. No, the color guy. And,
Spencer Tillman.
Yeah, I got so tired of listening to him. I synced up the radio with the TV, and that's not a bad way to do it.
No, we got the best radio team in the country.
Yeah, we got really good.
All right,
good.
So it's a really good way to do it then.
we encourage people to do that.
Yeah.
And I think if you do it through the Varsity app, they actually give you some options and try to help you do that as well.
We are on ESPN2 also tonight.
Yes, tonight.
on ESPN too. All right, we talked about this last week when you scan in because they say it's really packed at this end.
Yeah, and you can go down.
Oh, they changed it now.
Yeah, but don't tell everybody that.
Okay, never mind.
Tell everybody that.
All right.
But here's what, did you change? I gave Gio an idea last week, and he's a doer. So where the old people and the people that aren't as smart as the other people can go to one lane where they'll work with you on how to get get in, and the people that know what they're doing just get over there and they get in a lot quicker.
It's like at TSA at the airport, right? When you get behind somebody who's never flown before, and they're like, I got to take my belt off and all the
shoes.
Yeah, so we didn't do it last week, but I love the idea of we're just trying to feel like we did actually talk about this.
You can take credit for the idea.
No, I'm going to give you credit. I don't ever steal credit, but we just want to be able to market it appropriately, right? Like what do we call this? Like novice or we don't want to say like you just said because it's not stupid. It's just, you're just not familiar with the
ignoramus. That sounds like hippopotamus.
They won't know what it is.
Ignoramus is over here.
But we do want people to get in early. You don't want me to tell you about that. You can go over to the south side too, where you can still get in through the south side as well. But we're working on work in progress, trying to communicate to people out
packed.
here.
I mean, this is
packed. This is historically we're talking about Gate 1, which is right here on the southwest corner, is historically our most traveled.
Yeah.
We get the numbers afterwards, percentage of people that come in, which this gate. This gate's always been
45% going that gate right
been a big number for sure.
Yeah. So anyway, and you don't have to call them ignoramuses. Come up with a.
Well, they got the express lane on this side, and we got in that one because we didn't have a bag.
Yeah, if you don't have a bag, just come on in.
Yeah.
Don't bring a bag. You don't need a bag.
Oh, can you do that? Say bagless.
Yeah, they got express lane on this side.
No bags.
If you don't have a bag, you can just you got to take your hat off because people put bombs on their head
all the time.
Or whatever. They put them up there. I don't know.
I thought of you, Gary, when the kick time was announced because I knew you were.
How about next week?
You were possibly hoping to go to Ruidoso this weekend.
Yeah.
Nope, not going to Ruidoso. I'm going to the
next
ball
week
game.
you're not going either because it's 9 o'clock kick here, right?
10 o'clock here.
Oh, 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock
oh, my
here.
gosh.
We may go to Ruidoso next week because it'll be 9 o'clock and I won't be as tired.
It may keep you up a little bit longer to watch the game.
That's late.
Yeah, it's pretty late, but that's part of having those schools. Arizona, Utah, BYU is part of our conference.
No, it's not part of that. They don't have to play at 8 o'clock over there.
Yeah,
I mean, that's late over there.
It's late there for sure.
And because that's where retired people go to live out their
They're already in bed.
golden years,
Yeah.
and they're not going to be there at 8 o'clock.
Well, that's better for us, right? Because there won't be as many fans there either because it's so late.
Okay,
so
let's go with that.
It is late.
I don't know if you guys remember,
Mr. Positive.
and I'm sure you do. You guys have been here forever.
Ever.
So remember in 2001,
Like it was yesterday.
we had the goalpost incident against
Yeah.
A&M, right?
Taylor, my son, rode the goalpost.
He was one of the ones.
He was one of the ones riding it. He wasn't carrying it. He's a smart kid. He's riding it down the.
Remember, there's a picture of that kid that's wearing the Gap T-shirt. They called him the Gap Kid. He was like some 12-year-old, and everyone was talking about this angry mob. And then these pictures come up with this kid, just big smile on his face, with Gap on his T-shirt, and people started calling him the Gap Kid. And then I saw a story about him last year, and he's like 30 years old now. So, but anyway, 2002.
He's in prison.
We had that game. 2001. 2002, we go to College Station and we win in overtime, 48-47, and that game wasn't televised. And then we come
Was
back.
that the Welker?
Yeah, it was the Welker.
I was at that game.
Yeah.
I was too. 2003, we play them at 9:30 kick here, and people were
makes
concerned because there was so much animosity between the two programs.
Word of the day.
And so, and we ended up crushing them like 59-28 or something like that. Fourth quarter, almost everybody was gone. And I always remember that Nehemiah Glover, who played on the team, in his post-game interview, he was like, hey, we expecting. We thought this was some big rivalry game. He goes, they quit. He goes,
They did quit.
Yeah, the fans were gone and everything else. But yeah, so we're used to. I'm not used to. These guys weren't even born then, probably, but. Those late games can really go one way or the other, right? Can really get the crowd goosed up, or it can be like, hey, man, I got to go to bed. So I'll be interested to see how it works next week for them in Tucson.
Yeah. Well, and tonight, 7's about right.
7's
You'll get
great.
the crowd, what was the word, goosed up?
Goosed up.
They'll be
The
goose.
crowd will be goose. The geese will be there tonight. And 7 o'clock's perfect.
Well, and you
the
guys
sun's
remember
going down.
The days, and I'm glad every game is televised now, and I'm glad for the television money we get. But you remember back early on, we never played a day game in September because every game was in the evening, and nice evening
It's
games.
too hot.
Because we got to choose.
Yeah, it was just too hot. But now it's we're kind of at the mercy of what the networks choose and what they want to do, and they have a draft order of what they do every week, and you just kind of hope you fit in where you end up in a good time.
Well, and if you're going to pay the coaches as much as we're paying them, which we're going to, and if you're going to pay the players what we're going to have to pay them, then you're going to have to play it.
Yeah, that's the
10 o'clock at night.
Texas Tech. The college. We talked about this every time, right? College football is changing. College athletics is changing. And Texas Tech is going to compete at the highest levels, and that means we have to find ways to create revenue.
Speaking of Tech competing at the highest level, our volleyball team had one of the all-time great matches in Big 12 history the other day. They did not win.
Right.
But you saw what we've been waiting to see out of the volleyball is improvement and playing on a team that's probably in the top 25 this week. And every single game was a 2-point game. The final one, I think, was 34-32. For those that don't know volleyball, you're supposed to quit at, 25?
25, right. But you got to win by 2.
But every one of them was 2 points, and it's just a phenomenal match. So I was glad to see that. And then our soccer team, of course, Tom's got them playing well. They go on the road and beat Kansas State.
Soccer has the longest conference unbeaten streak in the country. They're 20 straight matches without a loss in conference play.
It's amazing.
And that's the longest streak currently in the country. Stanford had it, and then Stanford got beat. It's hard to think of this as a conference game. Stanford got beat by Wake Forest. And so it broke their streak.
We talked about this last week. Stanford volleyball will travel 33,000 miles this season.
Goodness. Yeah. That's a lot.
They got flyer miles.
I was trying. What game was it last night? Was it somebody in Rutgers? Was it UCLA and Rutgers? And I thought, that's a it's Washington. Washington and Rutgers. I thought there's a traditional conference matchup.
Well, Texas Tech and Cincinnati's like, what in the world? People are going, who?
Yeah,
we're playing the Reds.
Yes, the Reds are coming to town. Play a little baseball. You just got to learn, right? You got to pick up these new rivalries. Arizona State last week, right?
Well, you got to learn until it changes again, and it will.
Yeah,
it is going to change again. There's no way around it.
We got a tall volleyball team now, which is good. 6'5", 6'4", 6'3", 260. We're big.
I think, and they have a tough start to Big 12 play. They play at BYU today. then they come home for a match, and they go back on the road. So I think 3 of their first 4 matches on the road, which is hard to do, but hopefully they'll, as Gary said, they've shown a little moxie, and I think they're 8-5 now this year. They've had some big wins. They've had a couple disappointing losses, but hopefully they can build on that.
Who puts all these together, these game notes?
It depends on whoever runs the sport. So this one there is a guy named Jay Strader, who does that for
a lot of work.
He does.
Of course, I know a lot of it you don't have to change every week.
Right.
But you had to do it sometime to get it all.
Jay put that together.
But it's their job.
Yes, that is true.
So it's not like they go to work and then they come home and do this.
Well, yeah. Well, they got other things.
It's a hobby. Some
like
people
to
collect
doodle it.
stamps. Our guys like to put together
You know how
game
big
notes.
the game notes are for Tech football? How many pages? 60.
Yeah.
60. That's a ton of work.
Oh, that deal?
Yeah.
But you're right. 50 of them are the same every week.
Yeah, they are.
So, I mean,
you don't have to change.
Little tweaks.
It's something we discussed, too, internally. Like, are you reading every page of that?
No.
Yeah.
No, I just read. I don't read any of it.
Well,
I look at the highlights.
I used to do a big old preseason
Media guide.
and those they give gazillion out. I think the internet's sort of taken some of that. Where there's not as many paper.
We print a few now, but mostly we just direct people
Matt
to our
Dowdy's
website.
supposed to bring us one today, each of us.
Oh.
Yeah, he does have printed ones. As a matter of fact, I keep one on my desk.
What Geo bring us?
Nothing. He brought us Geo. We're thankful for that.
We're thankful. We ask little and receive little. Hey, well, I was going to do the
that
NFL.
made you feel good.
Are you an NFL guy?
Yeah.
All right.
I am too. I love it.
All right. What time is it? Is Gio
Time
with
to go.
Is he with us
No.
again?
No, he got 30 minutes.
Gio does?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
All right, we'll talk.
He's going, oh, crud.
Bull Loney.
All right. Well, we got Matt Dowdy coming up at 11, we think. Then Rodney, hopefully, at 11:30. But we'll be back with more Optimum Game Day Live on Sports Talk with Thetford and Ashby.
Sports Talk conversations with a good laugh mixed in. This is the Sports Talk with Thetford and Ashby podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
So anyway, did you see that?
And they got
Matt?
paid.
I actually did see it, right? Because our game was completed by that point, and so I happened to see it on social media as we were finishing up our press conference last week.
And they got beat badly by SMU.
Well, I
Made it
tell you
worse.
what, if they run that kickoff back, I think it changes everything.
It could.
Now they're down 14. They've got the momentum, and points were pretty easy to come by in that game. So, but no, after that it was game, set, and match. So
SMU.
anyway,
You know SMU loved that.
oh
They loved it.
yes. So anyway, Sonny's our buddy, but he had a bad day.
He did. And we hope he's going to have a lot of good. He's had some really good days lately. I mean, he's in the national championship game. You take those two teams, Michigan and TCU. I mean, not Michigan, but TCU and Georgia. They beat Michigan to get to that game.
Yeah.
And now Michigan's struggling, TCU's struggling. You got to stay on it, boy.
Hey, one thing about it is, once you've played for the national championship game, your fans sort of think,
I know it.
6-6 ain't gonna cut it. So anyway,
That girl that's driving that truck right there just spit out the window. That was good.
all right, Matt. What were you going to say about?
Oh, I was just, you're exactly right. Once you've played, I mean, we've done it ourselves. We played for a national championship several years ago in basketball, and expectations are always at an all-time high here, and that's where we want them too. So I hope that the same can be said about football here in the next few years, and make college football playoff, see what happens, and then that be that's already our expectation, is to get to the CFP, but make it a reality and then duplicate it.
You said the key thing there. That's where we want it to be. You can be, but we don't expect much. That's no place to be. I'm so proud of our basketball team, and people expect us. Mm-hmm. They expect us to get back to the, Final Four, and that's where you want to be.
But the years where it doesn't work out, don't let it ruin your life. And if you're going to let it ruin your life, just let it ruin your life. Don't ruin everybody else's life around you because of it. So anyway,
yeah. But we're there. Baseball,
Mm-hmm.
we don't go to the College World Series. Everybody's like, "What's wrong with take baseball?"
Yeah, it's a weird time when we don't make it to the College World Series, and
Yeah.
I mean, just to think, 2014 was our first time ever to Omaha. And so the 4 trips since then, and I was fortunate enough to go to 3 of those with the baseball program. And you talk about an event that is really special. The College World Series in Omaha is
Very cool.
special event. Hope the Red Raiders are there every year, but if you ever get a chance to go, I would highly recommend it.
Now, it is a long event.
Yes.
It's not like going to the National Championship football where you go, oh, we won, we lost, okay, let's go home. No, you can stay in Omaha for, 10 or 14 days?
Possibly 14, yeah. If you win one game, you're guaranteed to be there as part of the team at least a week, full week, possibly 8-9 days.
And then it's going to rain.
Yes.
So you got to factor that in.
Uh-huh.
And, Coach Kidley's in this deal. Come on, Coach, where's the national championships? We got to have those national championships. And that's the place you want to be. That's where Coach Kidley wants to be. He expects, hey, we're going to go compete for the national championship. And he does.
Oh, yeah. I think if you ask Coach Kidley today, I think he'd say, hey, I got a really good team, which should surprise no one because each and every year he and his staff recruit at such a high level. And it's funny, I was taking when y'all had Gio on earlier, I was taking our TV broadcasters for tonight through our facilities, just giving them a tour, and they walked through our indoor and indoor football and the Sports Performance Center, and they're just blown away.
Yeah.
And that's the same response Coach Kidley and his staff get when we bring in prospective track athletes, and it helps us compete at a high level.
It's amazing.
Yeah, we got to spread the gospel of this we have right across the street here, both the south end and the indoor facility.
Well, every crew we have brought in here so far this year that have been in-person television crews have been just blown away by the facilities and what we're doing here at Texas Tech. I would expect to probably hear, if you're not at the ball game tonight, I would expect to hear a lot about our facilities and our environment tonight on the TV broadcast.
Who are our guys tonight? Who's the
TV,
color and play-by-play?
TV crew will be Rod Rod,
yeah. Everybody knows Rod. And who's the other one?
Lauren Sisler's the sideline reporter.
A guy sideline reporter?
No, it's female.
Okay.
Lauren Sisler, Brian Custer, and Rod Gilmore are in
it's
the
on
booth.
here, isn't it? Somewhere.
Okay.
There it is right there. Brian Custer, Rod Gilmore, Lauren Sisler.
And they're a really good crew, and I think our fans will enjoy listening to them as they call the game.
You help
tonight.
put these together.
Yes.
Matt, this is amazing.
Every Sunday.
There's stuff in here that no one would ever need to know.
Well,
it's kind of cool that it's in here.
Those guys that are doing the game, they've got to talk for 4 hours.
Well, you love it. That's what I loved when I was doing Tech games, doing Tech baseball and basketball. Gary and I did some baseball together. But you just show up, and all this stuff is there. And you can get it early so you can study it, and it's critical for what we got going.
And our entire office, just talking about just the materials we give the TV crew, to media, to help them prepare each and every week. They do. There's 3 people that kind of contributed on football besides just myself, Matt Burkholder and Chris Duarte, and I mean we spend a lot of time trying to publicize our football program through our TV broadcast partners, through our local media, national media, and giving them materials to highlight our teams in a positive way.
I'll never forget that the other game we had with Cincinnati. I'll never forget.
Was that 68?
1968, 10-10. Joe Matlich got that 2-yard touchdown around. Looked like we were going to win it. You remember Joe Matlich, don't you?
Well, I was here.
I was here, too. We were rolling around in the grass on the north end. But
Let's see.
53-yard touchdown pass from Greg Cook to Jim O'Brien. And we tied 10-10 that day. That's the only other meeting with Cincinnati. It's weird to think we're playing Cincinnati in our conference game.
It's truly unique how it's kind of evolved, but, they got a good team.
They do have
a good team. It should be a good game tonight.
And they've had good teams. It's not like Cincinnati's never had good teams. Cincinnati plays football.
I mean, when it was a 4-team CFP, they're the only group of 5 team that's ever played in the college football playoff when they were a group of 5 team. And so, they've had success. They know what success looks like, and so I think they'll be well prepared.
What do we have in common with them?
Tommy Tuberville.
I think we have a former head coach
Tommy
at
Tuberville.
places.
I thought about seeing if he'd be on this week, and I just forgot about it. And I bet he would have.
Yeah.
This would have been a good week to have him.
It would have been.
Yeah, maybe it's not too late.
He's still going to call me. Hey, Tommy, what are you doing? Oh, y'all are voting? He's in the Senate. That's pretty amazing story right there. But anyway, I'm just looking forward to, I did talk to somebody, Matt, who watched the Cincinnati-Houston game, and they said Houston is not very good. And I haven't seen Houston play this year yet, but they said they're not.
Well, and the thing you got to always kind of remember is that game was in Cincinnati, and I think Arizona State's coach last week kind of has in the last week or so has said it really well. Is there's a lot of home field advantages in this conference.
Yeah.
Protecting home field's important. You see under Coach McGuire, we're 13-3 in 2+ years under him, and protecting home field is important. I do think there is a kind of have to look at it a little bit with a grain of salt sometimes of one team going to another team's field, and every week's different.
Well, I'll say this, a lot of teams, and I think Houston over the years has been one of these teams, is if you get some teams down, there's a lot of quit in them, but if they get you down, there's a whole lot of whoop your tail in them. Mm-hmm. So
and you got
key to playing Houston is get them down.
You got to remember, Houston was right in the game in Norman just a few weeks ago.
Yeah, that's right.
So
that's exactly right.
That's right. Yeah, that's a good point. So maybe they're not as bad as that person thought.
Well, either that or OU's really bad too.
Yeah. What are the chances of that? Not good. All right, Matt Dowdy's here with us, and we always appreciate Matt. He does all this. He's so good to help us, and we appreciate him. And he does a great job for Texas Tech. He's an Idalou boy.
Sports talk conversations with a good laugh mixed in. This is the Sports Talk with Thetford and Ashby podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
All right, Lubbock Truck Sales. This is the Kinsey. We were just talking about buses, and they do trucks for Texas Tech. This family, all these years, Matt, been providing these trucks for Texas Tech football. The going band from Raiderland. It's Lubbock Truck Sales is a great company here in Lubbock.
Oh, without a doubt, and not just for Tech, but they do all this region too. Biggest 28 bay deal. So if you break down anywhere around here, call them and they'll come get you.
They got the big wreckers too.
Can't just anybody tote you in if you're driving one of those big rigs.
Lubbock Truck Sales, on Slayton Highway, just outside the loop. And Fuddruckers, Gary and I ate there this week. It was we get a little carried away when we order.
Got way carried away.
We had the onion rings and they had wings and everything.
They got wings now.
We're just going crazy. Anyway, we love it. And they do a lot of catering too through Cafe Venture. That's Mickey, and he will take care of you. And we did quarter four. Quarter four is the first down sponsor for Lubbock ISD this year.
I was in there last night
at quarter four, and we said their names. Monterey started so good. They were just getting first down every time they get a first down.
Is it a quarter four first down? Oh, wow.
And so they got lots. In the second half, they didn't get much coverage.
That's like the old foul balls at the baseball field. You say, shut up.
I know it. Drive you crazy.
Every foul ball.
We do it in baseball and softball.
Yeah.
So but anyway, that was good. All right, that's Matt Dowdy's here.
I was in quarter four last night, though, and I just thought how lucky Lubbock is to have a place that you can go and just do all your shopping.
It's
men,
awesome.
Women, big, little.
Everybody.
Tech stuff, LCU stuff, the high school stuff. Go to quarter four.
All right, Matt. Were we going to talk about something in particular? Were you going to tell us something really important?
Yeah, we're going to talk about something was going to be here today. The Clydesdales.
The Clydesdales are here today.
Yeah.
All of them?
No, I think one.
Just one. The Clydesdale.
Clydesdale.
Yeah,
I really don't know. One would be plenty. I mean,
you'll see them in and around the stadium pregame today, and then I believe at halftime of today's game.
You said them, so how many of them are there?
I actually do not know.
Right.
I should know that, but I really don't.
Or my guess is one.
But Gio knows that. You don't have to know that. You got other stuff to know. There's plenty to know, isn't there?
There's plenty. There's a lot. There's a lot that goes into a game day that I don't think a lot of people probably realize just the different areas we have in athletics, that it's all about 7 times a year, and it's for the next several years it's going to be 7 times a year, home games, and just the different areas that work well with one another to host 60,000 people, an opposing team, just a lot that goes into each and every game day, plus Raider Alley, plus the green space over here. Television crews. There's a lot that goes into game day. But
who's your favorite team that you have in here? Opposing team. I mean, they're just good people. They're nice. The others don't have to be horrible. But
I want to hear the flip side of that after.
Yeah, who's the worst?
I don't know about the worst. That's a good question. I will say I do. My counterparts at K-State, I have a good relationship with.
Yeah.
They do a fantastic job.
They're like us.
They're very much like us. A lot of respect. It's Kenny Lanou and Ryan Lackey at K-State. A lot of respect for them and the job they do, but also just good friends in the business. And so I always enjoy it when they come to Lubbock. Always enjoy our trips to Manhattan.
And we don't play them this year.
We don't see them this year. This is a very much a rarity where we don't see them. And so, but that's always a good group when they come to
K-State. I think everybody would kind of agree with that. They're good. I wish we could beat them. We've struggled with them lately.
We've had a few struggles with them. It's in the history of that series, Texas Tech has gone on long runs of having success against them, and then K-State's currently on a run of their own that hopefully.
I think this little timeout we're getting this year, this little break, that's going to flop it, going to flip-flop it. So. We'll see.
And where we talk about similarities, they have a great home field advantage at their place, too. I mean, that's a tough place to go play and win for not just Tech, for anybody.
Yeah. Has there been a school that comes in regularly that they're just kind of arrogant and hard to deal with?
No.
Maybe they changed conferences recently.
Yeah, and they wear orange.
That's where I thought you were going with that. Not really. No one tends to pop to mind. In our business, you have to have relationships with each and every school. You got to treat people professionally, because ultimately we're going to go to their place, and we hope for the same when we go to their place. And so that's one thing our group.
That's like doing to others as you would have them do to you.
Yeah. And
biblical.
So let the rivalry play out on the field, but press box, other areas, we try to put on a first-class operation for whoever comes to Lubbock.
Well, I think we do.
Well, I think that's probably the type of people that are in the role that Matt and that bunch, and Gio and all that bunch, sort of the type of people that are going to be in that role are not going to be your in-your-face type people.
Y'all are great representatives for our school. Not y'all. Matt Dowdy. No, y'all are too.
Y'all too.
Get some black on.
Well, I think the biggest thing, and I have about 15 students that work for me each and every semester, and I tell them every year, one of the biggest things, my biggest pet peeve is it's not about us. It's about the brand. It's about the Double T. It is bigger than all of us.
That's good.
And so that's something hopefully, someone eventually will be in my role at Texas Tech after me, that hopefully that just continues, and it's something I learned from, Gio, Blaine Bill, Chris Cook, people that came, Joe Hornaday, people that came before me.
Joe Hornaday. Did you learn from Joe Hornaday?
I did not work at Tech when Joe did, but I have. I talked to Joe every so often.
One of life's more unique fellows.
Yeah,
he has treated me very well. Been a great resource.
Keith Samples. So you don't even go back that far, do you?
No.
Keith, you weren't even born when Keith Samples was here. I think he's the one that hired Joe.
Yeah.
Man, it's just a lot of history at Texas Tech. A lot of history. Lots of great things have happened through the years, and it's just a great university.
Yeah, I mean, we're in our 100th football season this year. We just celebrated our 600th victory.
What does that come out, about 6 wins a year?
Close.
Yeah. And
it's just close.
I did that in my head.
6 is not that good, is it?
Well, no, we used to play 10 games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For most of those years, we played 10 games. Then they went to 11 and now 12 or whatever it is now. 12.
Well, excuse me, I was talking like I was from Alabama. somewhere like that. 6? What are you talking about?
Yeah. No, but I'd say for 60 of those 100 years, we played 10 games.
Yep.
And then a bowl game. A lot of bowl games over the years.
There are things about it that seem better back in those days. College football has changed so much, and Gary and I, of course, we love the Southwest Conference days.
Yep.
We just absolutely loved it. But we ain't going back to that.
No, and it's
in football.
Looks like a boom box, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That car drove by that music.
You got to get him a smaller.
I'm sorry.
That's hard to carry.
You know what that is?
It's a cover.
I believe it's a cover.
It is.
Yep, for the fire hydrant.
They've thought of everything.
It seems like a little much, but what do they do that for? So people don't get hurt?
I don't know. I'll get Mike Ryan on the phone and ask him here in a little bit.
What's up, Gus?
They cover the fire hydrants with these black boxes. And that's why that guy was carrying across the street.
I was going to get Gus to call in today and go over the baseball.
He's listening.
Because he knows his stuff.
Yep.
Gus,
and he knows the number. It's 11-20-7.
Well, if I knew Rodney wasn't going to call, we'd get Gus to call and talk baseball because he knows baseball.
We're talking about the Major League.
I wonder if he knows where my phone is. Oh, here it is.
Major League Baseball. 2 minutes left here on this little part. Look at here. We got a whole caravan going on here. Got a convoy.
Wow. That's great.
There's a highway speed trap up there. Be careful. Yeah, they all got him a little scooter they're riding on. And
Rodney has not responded as of yet.
Well, he's still asleep. He's got his alarm set. I hope he'll be. I hadn't even looked at the games that we're picking.
Rodney and I have already picked.
Oh, you have?
Yeah.
All right.
Matt can't pick, or we let Matt pick.
No, that's illegal. It's not acceptable.
Yeah, it's still one of the rules that we have to follow in college athletics. So
there's not many anymore.
There's less than there used to be.
That's at least a little peculiar.
I know.
You know, I can remember on every locker room in baseball you'd go into in pro ball, it was you cannot no gambling on anything. But apparently Rose and some of them didn't heed the warnings.
Well, it's trickled down to college athletics. You see different cases across the country, and like our staff does a good job of training and reminding our athletes you can't do it.
You've been listening to the Sports Talk with Thetford and Ashby podcast from Double T 97.3. Catch the show live Saturday mornings from 9 to noon on Double T 97.3 FM or on the Double T 97.3 mobile app.